Hey everybody, thank you for coming to see my live stream tonight. I've been tinkering around a little bit with Twitch, the studio here, trying to figure out how to make things a little bit neater, a little bit more interesting to look at. So we're about to get started, but before I do, I want to say I've still got my live stream is still scheduled to run from 2 to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. However, right now that doesn't seem to be working out very well. In fact, right now I'm starting this stream at well, almost 9 o'clock at night. So I'm going to be streaming whenever I can, and hopefully we'll get to the point where I can stream when I want to or when I'm planning on doing it here soon. Tonight we're working on the fantasy coloring book project. I am on page 25 of the book, and yeah, let's go ahead and get started. If you were with me yesterday, we worked on page 25 doing the. Oops, let me make sure what I just did. All right. We were working on the goblin character here, and his lightning magic that's going across the screen. Then we also laid out uh, the 7 heads tall figure of the human wizard that's going to be in here, and this wizard is actually, I think he was supposed to be throwing some fireballs to destroy the skeletons. So uh, before I get to that, though, I want to say that I did tweak this goblin's nose a little bit more. I didn't like the simple angled uh, the simple angle that I had in his nose uh, in the last session. And then I also edited this little piece of the lightning magic right here. It's a little bit weird the way that I've got it ending there, but I didn't like it actually going behind his head either. So I figured this kind of lets you know that the power's focused right here instead of coming around like looking like it was running into his head. Simple little things. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and start on this wizard. And the first thing I did tonight before starting the stream was I reduced the opacity of the layer where I had scribbled out this basic form. And I uh, got it set up so that we're going to, when we get to work here, it's literally, we're sketching on top of all that with good, easy to see lines. I forgot to put my gloves on before starting the stream, so let me get these on. And we're going to try to make this wizard look as cool as we can, while also keeping in mind what he's doing. So I think I'm going to start zoomed out a bit, kind of taking the layout of the image that we're trying to create, and get him into the scene here. So yeah, I know I wanted to have him casting like fireballs or something, uh, maybe even like, something like a fireball, magic missile, or whatever. So I'm thinking I might have him shooting one over this way. This is going to be like a skeleton that's coming up out of the ground, and maybe another one out here. So maybe we don't even want to have him really standing straight upright. But since I did sketch him out, I kind of know where his hips and legs should be. So let's go ahead. I'm going to move his hips down just a little bit. So we're going to start right here. And I'm going to go ahead and crank this leg a little bit forward. So something like this. And he should be actually to the side so you would see more of his hip. Alright. I think I want to have something of an angle like that. So let's kind of keep that back over there. Make my eraser a bit bigger. So this foot would be back here a bit. This one is coming down. Might even put it just a little bit, like this is the baseline right here. This foot might come down a little bit lower just because it's coming closer in space. And then we'll kind of give him a little bit of a twist. Or a little bit of a bend in his spine. Let's think. Yeah. Sounds like you get to be privy to a discussion on mustard tonight. Big news. All right. Alrighty. And let's see, which way do I want this guy to be looking? Since he is a wizard and he's good at magic, he doesn't necessarily need to probably look at exactly where he's firing his stuff. So let's try. Actually, I might have messed up a little bit here. Let me see. So I've got him. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Let's go ahead. So I'm thinking he doesn't really need to look at exactly where he's casting his magic. So I'm going to have him looking out this way. And let's see. I'm thinking I might want to stretch this arm out this way a little bit more. And maybe that shoulder should probably be further back in space. So this would be like his center line would be here. And going back.
Why don't you move this chair somewhere and keep the smaller chair next to you so it's less crowded?
There's that. All right. Hang on one moment. I'm going to pause this. Okay, we're back. So we're working on this wizard. And I'm on the wrong tab again. There we go. So we got this little scribbly mess going on right now. But that laid out some of the basics of what we want to accomplish here. So the wizard is to be like launching a fireball this way. In fact, maybe even more back that way. So this arm could actually even be just kind of drive through right there to get that general look. The hand would be like right here. And then up here, like this magic burst we'll put there. I can scribble a lot here. If I need to, I can always reduce the opacity of this layer and come back down. Then this one is actually coming down to here. Let me just kind of draw a line. So I've got my dwarf fighter, I think, is right here. We want to make sure that the wizard's not shooting him or blasting through him. So we might have to make some slight adjustments to that. Okay. But since we're doing the wizard first, we can always come back and, like, when I get to the fighter, I might shift some of these characters around a little bit in this scene. And this is one of the most active scenes I've done so far in this coloring book. But I believe the next two pages, is it? Yeah, I think 26 and 27 are actually going to be like a spread, so it's going to take up both pages as like one big image. That ought to be interesting, I think. But all right, so we've got this wizard, and then let me see. I'm measuring to make sure he's in proportion. Yeah, he's about right. It's a little bit hard to gauge with him being hunched over like this, but I want to keep it at least approximate to uh the yeah, I'm about done tonight. Can't hardly talk. All right, but I'm trying to keep his proportions pretty similar to what they've been so far throughout the book. Trying to make sure I keep that little bit of character continuity from one page to the next. Now I'm just kind of putting together his general anatomy. This wizard, like the stuff that he wears, doesn't really show off his body at all. So a lot of it is I just need some general forms to make sure that I don't make him look like all messed up. Make sure that his parts all go in the right general places. We'll clean up a little bit here. Let's see. So I'm thinking his shoulders are actually a little too high. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to go ahead and take everything here in his upper chest because it looks like I've got too much room between his, what do you call it, his shoulders and his chest and his ribs. So let me take this and just drop this down a few pixels, just about like so. That should do it. Because the wizard is not, like I'm giving him that big neck right there. He doesn't have a big neck. He's kind of a scrawny character. All right. I'm going to clean up some of this extra stuff over here where I was scribbling out the general shape of his head. Okay. And so his neck should be coming in right about there. And let's see. Yeah. Okay. Then this shoulder probably ought to be tucked in a bit more. All right. We're getting there. Okay, and then of course the back of his torso is going to be more like right here, coming to his ribs, and then coming into the hips there. So let's see, stomach is here, hips are here, groin, abdomen. All right. And of course then his leg, which you're going to get basically a fold right here between his upper body and his lower body because the leg is bent. Knee. We're just going to come straight down the shin into his feet. And I will have to pull up my reference here for the wizard shortly. I know his size, and I know generally what he looks like, but I got to make sure I keep this as consistent as possible. All right, so we're coming into his knee right here. All right, I'm going to continue through this part. And so we want to make sure that I don't make his leg like suddenly huge right here. It can happen a lot when putting the characters into a pose like this. Okay. And then go ahead and stretch this a little bit more. All right. And I've got old stuff in here too that, like, from the first one or two sketches that I've done. I can get rid of some of that line. All right. Let's just double check how we're looking. Let's see. So I do think that I'm going to want to keep this leg a little bit thicker throughout and smooth it out. It's, again, not likely to matter a whole lot because of the way that his clothes go. But all right, so that's that. And that would be like kind of like a pants line. He does, I think he has a belt. And let's see. Let's think about his hands as far as the magic and make sure of, yeah, I'm coming right down to there. So we're getting kind of a top-down view on this hand. We'll say that's the wrist. I could even draw like a little circle. That's like if his hand was chopped off, right? But so let's go ahead and keep this hand coming this way. And so I would have like 2 knuckles, 3 knuckles, 4 knuckles. And then thumb would be over here. So I need a cool pose for his hand, and I'm thinking I want to have his fingers spread a bit, maybe even pointing. See, I don't really want to just have him pointing in that direction. So let's see, we'll go, I'm going to have this finger coming out this way. And then this one here. let's see, and then want to keep this one kind of parallel. He needs to be just a bit shorter. And then the pinky, let's see, let's just kind of spread it out as well. All right. And I think his thumb, let's see, that's like your first digit. I'm going to go ahead and bring it out this way. And, I mean, it's a nice spread hand, but I don't know that I really like it like that. Thinking I might want something a little bit more interesting looking. So I'm thinking right now what I want to do with this hand as far as launching this magic at, like a fireball or whatever at the skeleton. And I'm thinking we might need to flip his hand over, palm up, or even possibly, let me think, what if we go like palm down? All right, so let me go ahead and I'm gonna just go wipe all this out, but I'm gonna keep the spade of his hand right there for now. Let me think. So if he flips his hand over, his palm is down, and the fire's coming like out of the middle of his palm. Let's see, we might do something like this. And this could even look kind of painful. I mean, magic could potentially be a painful thing. Like having to maybe contort your body a little bit to do it. Let me think. Do I want to? I'm thinking about this finger coming out, and then it's gonna be maybe like hooked at the end. But I don't like the way that's going. So basically, what was his pinky just became his index finger. So let's say, what if it comes around like so, and then maybe it's kind of like that. Yeah, I don't like that. That's way too hard of an angle. But we could maybe do something like this. And of course, then we need to worry about the thickness of the finger and make it look like it's not just broken or um, like a wet noodle that just flops over. So let's see. I mean, you've got that digit, and then you've got his second digit there, and that's the third one. It's also kind of a size issue that's going on here, where the digits aren't really um, measuring out right. So let's angle this a bit more, and then come here. Want to keep that hard hook to it, I think, to keep the general shape that we want, and maybe even we'll only tip it right there a little bit, but that would be like his fingertip, you would be seen right here. So thinking we'll flex it some more, keep the thickness over there, and maybe even bring this up here. And I think I'm going to need more thickness in the finger on that side. I figure if I can get one right, then the rest can kind of follow suit. Alright. And the rest we can kind of just place in. And I'm contemplating whether I like that initial angle or not. I think that's about where we want to go with it. I mean, you're going to have some curve here. You're going to have like the padding of the hand itself. Uh, you know what? Maybe we need to go the other way. It's alright, we'll figure this out. So let's say that is there, and then this is coming here. And then there's the tip of the finger. Maybe like that. So then the next one would be here. And it'd be slightly bent, so then this would probably be coming out like so. We'd get like a little bit of the side there. And finally, you'd get the tip of the finger here. Down like that. And I don't like that at all. Not one bit. Not really. Let's see. If I did these ones. Yeah, that just looks I think that's actually just too much it's also too much like too perfectly flipped over. Too hard of a flip. So let's clean that out again. I'm gonna reshape that just a little bit. The hip and leg there. So instead of doing that, all right, let's do this instead. Let's say the wrist is going kind of vertical here. And then we're going to go with, this is the spade of the hand. And we're going to see the thickness here of where his fingers are coming out. So you got like one knuckle there. Actually, they wouldn't really be, I mean, they would be there, but, or the fingers would be there. The knuckles themselves would be up here. And then if I try to draw that, yeah, I don't like that either. I don't think that's gonna work. So let's try something else then. Now we're coming over here. So we're gonna change this. The hand is now open this way. So we're gonna see the palm of the hand. All right. So let's keep it kind of reasonable here. You don't want to go too far out of it. There's probably too much angle that I'm putting in that anyway. But let's see if I do this. So you have your thumb up here at the top. Probably hooking down into the hand. I'm gonna scribble this out real quick. Finger here. And you know what? I don't like the hooked fingers at all. Alright, so that's part of the problem. I don't really want hooked fingers. I mean, we're launching some fire out of the hand. You don't really want to have those fingers curling in on themselves where, you know, the stuff would be. So, you know what? Let's actually redo the entire arm. Instead of being basically hanging down and launching this thing, we're gonna maybe, yeah, we're gonna put it up somewhat. I'm gonna take the whole arm off. And let's see. We're gonna put some stretch on that. Make zoom out so I can actually see what I'm doing here. I think I'm actually gonna raise the arm, so it's coming up. Hold on a moment. Alright, one moment. Okay. Alright, sorry about that. My wife was coming through and she does not like being on camera. so, so I had to cut to my other scene there real quick. Alright. So, let's see here. We're going to put this arm upward. That's too much. Too much. Because that'll look really weird too. Alright. Let's keep it more like level then. Down was bad, up is bad. Let's go level. And maybe even keep it upward like this, right? So we're going to be seeing across the bottom of the forearm. Alright, I think we're getting into the right area here. And then here's going to be the bottom of the hand. We'll probably see the outside of the hand, like the pinky side here. Okay. This is the thumb over here, which I want to hook that downward, I think. No, we'll actually probably leave the thumb forward, maybe. Yeah, I'm iffy on that. I'm not sure which way I want to do the thumb. Oh, wait. And if I keep this angle, though, it would be like he's kind of going over here. Yeah, and we want to keep him going over here. So, we might not actually see the a lot of that pinky side on the outside. We get more like this. Let me keep some thickness here. And clean this all up again, since I keep scribbling all over the place. Alright. In fact, I might need to just adjust this even more. I'm going to move my pivot point down here. We're going to rotate this hand just a little bit further out. Okay. And then, let's see. I do think I want to keep that thumb downward, but maybe also out. And then his fingers can kind of come out. And I'm just scribbling these in real quick. Try to get them about right. I think the middle finger here, we don't want to have it like right with the index finger. We want to keep these fingers spread. And in fact, again, we don't really want to curve them down. So, let's see. I think it's something like that. Something like that. Third finger over here. And the fourth finger, well, the pinky finger here. Over like so. Alright, I think that will actually do. And we might even have like a bit of, not so much a fireball there, because I think I want to have it actually traveling, but I'm going to do some lines here. And I might even put this fireball right here. So it'd be like a flaming wad of fire right here. And we'll have some tracers or whatever going back there to help link this all together visually. But without actually covering his whole leg and without having to just draw a circle around his hand to say like, oh, there's magic here. So, yeah, I think that'll work. And let me go ahead and try to refine this hand just a little bit more. He is kind of a skinny wizard, so we don't want to give him like big fat fingers. Want to make him kind of thin, kind of slender. All right. Maybe this fingertip actually is gonna just be angled a bit. Could be potentially like a broken finger or something. Alright, then here's the pinky. And maybe even ankle that one over that way just a little bit. And that looks weird as shit. Okay. Let's see. Part of it is that this finger is really thick. It's like they get thinner as I went. Or thick then thinner. So let me thin this one down just a bit here. And then this one, I'm not so sure. I'm kind of thinking, let's take this finger. Let's play with it a little bit. see if we can rotate it that way or rotate it that way. Let's go ahead and put it right about here. And then I think I technically need to thicken that one up just a touch. And then the pinky, I think it's this mixed curve that I've got going on in here that's making that weird. So let's go ahead and what if this pinky actually just kind of, not that much. Bring it over that way though. Let's say it's separated right here. That's like the fingertip. This is here, this is here. All right. Feel like we can get more like a tip going here. Yeah, okay. Sometimes it's just a little weird. Alright. And then, of course, you've got basically like the pads of the fingers. This is like where your bones or your finger bones, your knuckles are actually at. Like the padded inner part of your knuckles, whereas on the upper part is the knuckle bones. And then, of course, this is the webbing that travels between your thumb and your index finger. And then you've got, that's one, right? And then, yeah, then you've got your knuckle here and your thumb, the one digit of it there. So this actually is part of that bone, and then it comes into the palm. Okay. All right. Well, we've got a hand. And yeah, I don't like this pinky being bent over like that at all. It's just not working for me. But I think part of it too is, let's see, we'll start with that. Cross this. That's about right, I think. That'll do. Let me take a zoomed out look at it. It's a hand. I feel like the index finger is kind of just going off too much now. So let's just try to... It's also probably too long because the middle finger should actually be the longest finger on the hand. All right. So that's a little bit better. All right. Now tonight I'm going to try to stream. I think I'm going to stream until about 10 o'clock, so another half an hour or so. But then yeah, I gotta get to bed if I can. Get some more sleep. Gotta go to work again in the morning. Alright, let's see over here. But this week, things are just crazy at work, so I keep missing my stream that I want to do. And today I was so tired I got home and I just went straight to bed. But didn't sleep very long, got woke up, and so I started tinkering around with stuff once I got up and messing with the layout of the stream here. Generally trying to make things a little bit better before coming in and actually doing a stream. Alright, we're going to clear out this right here. I think we're about ready to turn him into the actual wizard. I should do that backhand, but that backhand's also going to be kind of simple. So here we go. The backhand. There's your wrist. Here's your palm and your thumb. And then here's like your index finger, your middle finger. There we go. I'm going to put the index finger out like so. Middle finger a little bit longer. He's going to be a little bit higher. The ring finger might even be curving down. The pinky could even be all the way down. We don't really need all of that in this particular view. And I still have pieces to put on this. But let's see. Hands there. Alright. That's looking pretty good. Okay, I'm bringing this elbow back to here. The bicep should be back here. And the shoulder should be back and down. Something like that, I think. And really, I mean, given this, the back of his hand probably ought to be like right here. So maybe you'd see a little bit more of this finger. And maybe the middle finger would actually be separated a bit more from the ring finger or the index finger. Now I'm not even sure what fingers I'm talking about, so here we go. Just a little bit of separation over there. And yeah, this one might be like some sort of powerful fireball. Yeah, well, we can think about that more later on. Okay, we're gonna zoom out again. And so, yeah, let's turn him into the wizard. We got 30 minutes left till I have to terminate this for the night, and I need to open a file. So let me go into, yeah, in here, character reference. I need to find my wizard, my human wizard. Here we go. All right, so these are all images that I've drawn of the human wizard. This color one up in the corner is literally the one that I started with, and all the rest are kind of referenced based off of that doodle. Now, what can I do here? I want to make this not too big for me to see. Oh, actually, let me do this. Let me put this back up over here. Okay. I forgot I can do this. Haven't done it in a long time. Let me go 2 up. There we go. Now they're both open at the same time. And yeah, I can work on this one and reference on that one. Okay, now I'm going to come in here, zoom it into about that much. Let's go ahead and use this one as a reference for now. So the first thing is he's got a hat. Well, he has a face that we haven't put on. I'm going to save the face for last, but I'm going to put the general guidelines in for his face. And maybe even shape it just a little bit. Alright, and let me see. Okay. Shape his head a little bit better. Put like a quick line here for his ear. That might be a little too far back, but we'll worry about the fine details here a little bit later. Actually, let me see. It actually feels like this whole shoulder is a little stretched out over here. Like it shouldn't be quite that far away. Let's bring it to about right there. Just a little change. And then bring that there. Something like that. Okay. Now we've got, yeah, we're gonna put the wizard hat in. Now, a lot of times I've got his hat covering his ears on the side. So, his hat would have to be, oops, bring it up like so. It kind of curve upward, or either upward at the front or downward at the back to be like that. And it should have some thickness to it. I'm thinking his eye line probably ought to be a little bit straighter there. I'll leave that gray line in there. And this band that's across his forehead is actually like a solid piece. Could be like metal, or kind of like a crown or part of a helmet headband type deal. So we'll go ahead and leave that nice and solid right there. And then his actual hat. Think about how I want to make his hat look in this scene. So we're going to go ahead and curve this up like so. I think I'm going to not arc it up downward, or blah. Yeah, we're gonna go across this way. The back side of it, I'm gonna arc about like so. This will come in. Shouldn't be too thick though. Something like that. Yeah, that would look really goofy, wouldn't it? Okay. I think I just made that a little too long. And we don't want to actually be going into the fingers. We want to keep separate elements here. Something like that. And maybe I ought to cut this down just a little bit. Maybe bring it to about here. Maybe keep it a little bit more level. Something like this. Cut this across here. Alright, clear that out. And there's that. Okay. Oh boy, let's see here. Okay, and this should kind of square out, I think, like I usually have it. It's got that little bit of a dip to it right there. Alright, I'm not going to put the pattern in it right now. We're going to go ahead and work on the rest of him. Now, he wears a belt that is like one big piece. Let's go ahead and bring it across like so. Alright. And it wraps, of course, it wraps around him. It's a belt. Keeping it on this simple band right here. We get that right, and then we'll work on expanding it. Okay. And then it gets bigger. And we're going to make it get bigger pretty much like right here. But it comes out at an angle. That should be plenty. And then over here, you're not going to see a whole lot of it. And yeah, over here, you're actually below the horizon line in perspective, so you're going to see the top of the belt. Alright. And of course, right there, I made it like really thick where it's like it would just fall off of him. Like a big armor plate or a big armor collar going around his body, but it's okay. We're going to adjust that in a second. Little bits at a time. Okay, so we're going to tighten this down to about here. That bit's there, and this is there. Small adjustments. Okay, now it's a little bit more reasonable. And of course, here we go. with the trim in the center section, which comes together at a point. And it might be a little bit tweaked because he is hunched over like this. There we go. He's got a belt. And we might even bring this in a bit more down here. Okay. But I put the belt on first so that that's in place for the other pieces that are going under it. So he has this strange outer vest thing going on. He's got, let's see, how's it going here? It's sort of like really it's kind of like a bathrobe is the best way to describe this thing. But it does tuck into his belt. But it has this big collar on it that flaps out. Like a big lapel or whatever, kind of like a trench coat or a duster maybe, but even bigger than what you might expect to find on that. And then over here, same deal. We'll get some form of his what we call it, his torso there, and then you've of course got this big flaring lapel. I'm gonna call it a lapel. All right. And then, so now he's looking kind of like some sort of stripper or something with his like chest all exposed, but he actually has a shirt under there too. Uh, Now this actually comes out at the bottom of his belt. It covers about half of his leg. We're gonna bring it to about right here, and then we're gonna flare it out. And let's see. One moment. All right, go ahead. Mhm. Okay, we're back again. All right, so let's see. We've got his. Okay, I think it's the way that I've got the bathrobe coming down low right there that looks kind of goofy. So we'll do it sort of like this. All right. And let's see this part. We'll keep it down a little bit and just bring it to like right there. That should be good. Let me make my eraser a little bit smaller. And we're going to have like a fold right here. This is, where it was folded over at the lapel up there, and it's kind of doing the same thing down here at the bottom. And we'll do the same thing over here. Just kind of tweak this flow just a little bit. And really, not so sure I'm keen on the way that I've got this thing flowing out behind him right there. I think I'm going to shorten that up some. That's just a bit much. So let's try doing, say, like this. And, you know what? Let's bring it right on down like that. And I'm going to fill that in with black for now. That might stay that way. We'll see. I think that's a little bit better. And we could do the same thing over here. Now, let's, I'm not really worrying about his shirt, but I am going to say that with him being twisted this way, he might have some wrinkles in his shirt that are going about like so. And of course, the back of his, yeah, his bathrobe is what we're calling it. It's going to expand outward right there. You're not going to see any of that part of the anatomy of his torso. And we've got a couple of folds in it. And we might get a bit of it over here as well. Now, we're going, let's see, he basically wears tights for pants, but he does have, his tunic actually has, like it's like three parts where it comes, down past his belt. So it's, well, that needs to be tighter to his leg. Let me get rid of this. So you get this little flap of cloth right here that might be kind of folded. Shouldn't have any real thickness here along the bottom edge. It should literally just kind of be coming down and following the form of his leg. So I might want to bring this up like so, and then down here, and just fill this with black. And it does the same thing over here. So we'll end it like right here. Okay. It's really just like a little flap of cloth from his tunic or whatever. And then the center, I said it was in three parts. The center part is like a loincloth. It's a really long tunic. And we're going to bring that out just like so. Might leave a bit of it there. Cross it up underneath like here. Got to give it a little bit of billowiness. Wizards are all about billowy clothes and flashy shit and, you know, basically looking weird and intimidating at the same time. When they're not just casting fireballs and lighting everybody on fire. Put some wrinkle lines and fold lines into that part. All right. And then he's got boots. Big riding boots. I'm going to get rid of some of this anatomy throughout his leg, and I'm going to get rid of some of that tracer line there. So let's start back here. Let's see, with your leg being angled like that, his riding boots would end like so. And they come straight down, and they probably have some wrinkles in them or, you know, not being perfectly flat. And then they curve down. Put heels on these boots, little heels, of course. You know, just like regular boots. And his toes curve upward just a bit. So there we go. And let's see. There seems to be, I don't know, I feel like that's too much shape right here. I want to reduce this a little bit. I don't want it to look like a woman's boot, really. It is. Let's see. It's a man's boot, but what did I do here? What is it? I think it's okay now, I guess. Oh, let me draw a line. Okay, well, so it's pretty straight. And let's see. I'm gonna flap this out a little bit thicker, so it doesn't look like it's tapering in at all. This is coming over here, and it might partly be the way that kind of curved down his calf. We don't really want to make it look like it's following the shape of his leg, like a spandex boot in a superhero comic. It's literally a fat leather boot. Let's bring this in a bit more, or bring that out some. Just kind of try to keep this all together here. Guess we can simplify it. And there we go. Okay, then we gotta do another boot for this leg. It's probably about the same as far as any real space in the boot's probably at the front, like right here. It's coming straight down. You're gonna get some fold or wrinkle right here where the straight shank of the boot meets your foot. The foot comes out, and now what I'm gonna do here is flatten this out right there, because those toes curve upward just a bit. So it's from this point you get that that little bit of curve in the boot. And of course you'll see like the toe of the boot there, and that's the thickness of the toes. And that's the boot itself right there coming down. Alright. Let me think about something here. So, actual size of the boot. Okay. This one's... I could probably get away with bringing this boot up just a bit higher. It'll probably look a little bit better. Small changes. There we go. And let's see, keep this over here. Maybe incorporate some more wrinkles over here. Maybe. Don't want to make it too complicated. Okay, so there he is, and we're gonna smooth out his leg just a bit here. So this is coming right here. I'm gonna go ahead and clear out some of that. And we're gonna have like some little wrinkles right there. We can fill this in with black. Okay, which way did I go here? All right, so he is wearing like spandex, well not spandex, like tights, you know, whatever whatever tights he might have gotten. What else do they call them? I'm not sure. There, I swear there's a name for it that I can't think of, but I'm just gonna call them tights. They're not actually jeans, and I don't believe they're really as heavy as most pants that we would think of today. And I'm going to create some other shapes right here, little interactions. Want that flap to be folded over, and I made that piece not quite so high off of his leg. And now we're getting into some of the other bits. So we got him down there. Now we got to finish up his upper body. The first thing we're going to do is he has, well, his shirt, this shirt that we were dealing with here, actually, it has a hood on it as well that comes up here around his neck. So it doesn't ride real high, but it's essentially a hoodie. So there is that going on in there. And we'll go ahead and clear this all up. Let's see. So this is like his hoodie right here. And coming together right there. Now he's also got a necklace that comes out of this hoodie. And most of the time I have it flying around, like whipping around in the air because of the things he's doing. Let's see, this time will be no exception. We'll bring it to right here. And so that little angled U, we're going to get back to that. That's where the necklace is going to be. Next thing he's got is his, it's like a shoulder pad. Let me jump to a different reference here. So he has these shoulder pieces that come out, and actually there's a bit of a collar, but the collar goes up underneath the hoodie. So you will see those, and the shoulders are cutting out like right here. And they're not super huge. Just a little something to give them that wider stance. And I believe these, I mean, how you color, this is a coloring book, so how you color it determines what it really is. But I imagine those as being just part of his bathrobe, kind of floppy, but they could be metal. Let's see here. Now we're gonna get into his sleeves. So his sleeves are a little weird, uh, like most things on this character. He actually has a ring here, a ring here, and a ring here, and they're all that's like three rings that hold his sleeves pinched up and everything. So the first ring goes like right about here, just at the top of the bicep, and it is actually pretty much sized to his arm. not going to be so tight that like it would cut off his circulation, but it is just right there, just a little bit bigger than his arm. The next one goes right about at the back of the forearm or at the base of the elbow, and this one is a little bit looser. So it would be right about like so. And then the final one is right here at the cuff, and it's pointed even at the bottom. Um, and so, like, if this arm's going up, the third one, we're going to say it's back here because the sleeve would be sliding back a little bit. And it needs to be wide. Okay. And coming down to its point. All right. And we'll give it some thickness here. I haven't mentioned it in this live session yet, but what we're doing right now is sketching the general layout for my characters. Like tonight, we're working on the wizard, the human wizard, and when I'm done with the page, I have everything basically penciled in. Then I will be coming back to it later and doing like a inked version. It's all digital, but essentially this is the sketchy pencil version, and then later on I do the final smooth inks where there's no sketchiness, and that's for the actual coloring book. But I've decided to just go ahead and focus on one thing at a time to get further along. We're on page 25 right now, and the book is going to be 30 pages long. Now I'm going to try to experiment here. So he has these sleeves, which um, are literally, uh, what do I want to say? These rings help to bind up the sleeves, and so the sleeves have to flow along, the paths that they are being constricted to. And in here, you would actually see, for the first time, I think, in this book, the inside of one of the sleeves with the ring. Now, technically, these sleeves would be like all bunched up over the ring there, probably, so you wouldn't really see the ring on the inside, but you would see some of the effects of it. And you definitely won't see any of the upper arm there because that ring would constrain everything to the point that it blocks it. And this line, I'm not sure what that line was from. But okay, so now I'm cleaning that out. Now he wears bracelets. Um, let me find. I've got these blue ones here in my original sketch. And that one I actually went a little bit crazy with them, but I've been keeping them fairly tight lately. So I'm gonna go ahead and stretch them out just a little bit in this one. But not as crazy as I have done in the past. And these bracelets, I'm not sure what they are, other than they are like a bunch of beads where he's got one big bead and then two little beads or two smaller beads. And then again, one big bead and two smaller beads. And as far as what they are, I mean, being a wizard, they could be any number of things. They could just be beads, or they could be spell components of some sort, or trophies. Who knows? That is where you get to choose for yourself. And let's see, we'll do the other bracelet over here, which I haven't done that sleeve yet, so this bracelet might not even show up at all, but I'm going to put it in real quick anyway. Welcome to the stream. Going to be streaming for about, oh, actually, I'm out of time. So it's only going to be a few more minutes. I'm going to be finishing up some of the details on this character, and then I have to terminate the stream for tonight. But I am glad you showed up. Thanks for coming. Alright, let's go ahead and put that sleeve in. So, let's see here. Just like the other one, he's got this ring that comes in the back of the forearm. And then the main ring is, yeah, it's going to be like right here. And it's going to cover at least half of the bracelet that we just put on there. Alright, now the sleeve itself, kind of angle out of there and drop to here. We'll give it some folds there. Get rid of the forearm in that area. Alright, we are almost there. Need some folds in that upper arm piece. And let's see, let's go ahead and get that necklace in before I quit for tonight. So we now have the wizard's necklace to put in. And this is probably, yeah, this is probably one of my better references for it. So we start, it's basically a bunch of cards, or they look like cards. They could be just flat metal pieces. And we'll just add a little thickness to this one. And that one has a circle on it. And then we've got another one over here. And this one has circle, triangle, and a long rectangle. And of course, these shapes are a little bit easier to put on when I get to the final stage when I'm doing it with a brush that has 100% opacity and flow. Just trying to get the scribbly sketches in right now. Alright, now I gotta do this last card over here. Try to keep it generally level. And that one has a rectangle and a triangle. Alright, and just maintain that thickness right there so I don't lose it. Alright, same pattern as the bracelets. He's got like a larger bead and then well, he's usually got two smaller beads. This time it looks like it might just be one on each side. but we can go back to the actual pattern right here. Go with the larger ones, a couple smaller ones. All right. There we go. Now he's got his necklace in. Can add some more folds in here for that hoodie. And yeah, so I've still got his face to do, and I've still got his pattern in his uh, hat to do. But I am going to terminate the stream there for tonight, and I will try to be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern to go back to work on the page. But right now we've got our Goblin Wizard in the background, casting his lightning. He is summoning these skeletons that are popping up out of the ground. We've got heroes and villains fighting each other. The wizard is here. He's like launching fireballs into the skeletons. It would be slowly bringing the whole scene together this week, and probably having it done by this weekend, depending on how well the stream schedule goes for the rest of the week. Yeah, it is Thursday almost, so yeah, we'll see how things go for the rest of the week and through the weekend. And thanks for visiting the stream, and I will hopefully see you tomorrow.